Hello guys and welcome back to our channel. Now today we're taking a look into a controversy that has sparked a heated debate online. A black British podcaster found herself in hot water after sharing her thoughts on Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance. Now while she acknowledged her love for Kendrick, she describes the performance as mediocre and admitted to not understanding some of the songs. Now her comments have sparked a backlash, with many highlighting her not understanding the performance's deeper meaning and cultural context. But here's the thing. Should we be expected to have an opinion on everything that's trending online, even if we don't fully understand it? I don't think so. And I think this is exactly what this podcaster was doing. She thought it was right for her to talk about something she doesn't understand in the first place. And I feel that was wrong to start with, because I remember posting a video on this same topic, and the people who were upset about Kendrick Lamar's performance are MAGA supporters, because they understood what Kendrick Lamar was trying to put across. And a lot of Black Americans, say that Kendrick Lamar's performance was a very good performance because it wasn't just a performance, but he was trying to send a message out there and he delivered. And for someone who doesn't understand American history to come out and say such things about something she doesn't understand, I feel it was just wrong. But with that said, let's get into it and just hear what Black Americans had to say about this. I will be right back.
Now, I love Kendrick. I love the fact that being a hater can end up being a success. But this performance, I just thought it was really mediocre for me. Maybe because I'm not a hardcore Kendrick fan. There was a lot of the songs that I didn't know. I knew some of the mainstream ones. Like when SZA came, I was like, yes, twin. The rest of them, I don't know. I thought the visuals was amazing. We had Samuel Jackson come on as Uncle Tom, and then obviously the dancers came and the American flag, and then obviously he performed They're Not Like Us. I just thought it was an okay performance. There are a lot of people on the internet who are like, oh my God, you just didn't understand. One thing I cannot stand is fake deepness. I come to watch the Super Bowl to watch a performance. I didn't come to think. I don't want to feel like I'm reading a book. So when I'm seeing, oh, but you did not understand the allegoric significance of when the dancers were wearing blue, and the blue means it signifies the sadness of the American like, I just want to dance. I don't want to watch a performance and then have to read a book to understand what the performance was about, okay?
So one, Samuel L. Jackson's role was to play Uncle Sam, not Uncle Tom, which is a significant identifier in American history. Not sure you would know much about that since you are British. Number two, the Super Bowl is not a performance. It is actually a championship game for the United States National Football League. It is the final game after preseason, regular season, and the playoff, in which the top two American football teams meet head to head to play a sport. And in the middle, there is a halftime show. Number three, you have already said you know nothing about Kendrick's music, which means you know nothing about his artistry, which means you know nothing about what it is to represent what it is that he's representing as a Black American man from Compton, California. But you just came to watch a performance and you didn't want it to be too deep. But it's February and Black History Month in the United States of America. And whether folks recognize it or not, Black Americans actually have depth because we actually have a culture. Stick to your Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. Stay where it's safe for you.
And that right there is your problem. You didn't think at all. Once again, a Black British person opens their mouth and shows again how uneducated they are. Why do y'all feel the need to talk on Black American and American history when you don't know? And you know what? You don't have to, but stop speaking on it. This is American sport that has so much rooted in history. Black history is American history. So, of course, in times that are like this, where they're getting rid of DEI and all that stuff, he's showing symbolism. It's like, it doesn't make sense. If I don't understand anything, why am I speaking on it? You see how that doesn't make sense? And then when you said this BS,
as Samuel Jackson come on as Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom? You even know what Uncle Tom is? In correction, it was Uncle Sam. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know the words that you're saying at this point. If you can't be entertained and use your critical thinking at the same time, I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy how I just saw a think piece of a white Irish woman breaking down the symbolism. She's not even American. I felt unity in that. I felt empowered in watching that performance. And you're gonna sit there and say that. For you to sit there and say fake deepness shows how much how much ignorance and privilege you sit on. If you don't get it, cool. Get this. When Kendrick says they not like us, y'all included in.
Joyce, sometimes let's learn to keep quiet. Even if we have to talk, let's try to do some research. It's very important that we don't just contribute to everything on the social media space. Very important, especially when we don't know anything about it. You've done a great job creating this whole persona, but when you're beginning not to do research, you're looking really, really bad. Just in December, you got in trouble for saying some narcissistic stuff in Lagos. This didn't end. We're just in February, you're in trouble again. Because you just didn't want to keep your mouth shut. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't voice your opinion. Hell, your whole brand is all about voicing opinions. That has been the reason why we love Madam Joyce. I love you. I watch your content. I really genuinely love you. But one thing I don't want you to do is the way these two boys did. And you're looking like you're about to. James and Fahad had everything working for them. All they needed to do was do research. And that's what you're not doing. Let me tell you something with American pop culture. You just don't open your mouth wide and just say nonsense. You get it? Not like the British audience you're working with or the Nigerian audience you're working with. With the American audience, you have to be smart to say what makes sense because they will call it out. They're known for that. They will call you out. They're not scared of you. When you come and disrespect the whole culture like that, they will drag the hell out of you. You're being dragged right now. And again, I hate it that this is happening to you. And I know at the end of the day, we're all going to say that, oh, all publicity is good publicity. No, it's not. When you're known to be a fool, it's not good publicity. You're going to be a fool for the rest of your time.
I know why you didn't get it, because you're not like us. You're an African. Take that how you want to take it. You're an African. You would not understand the plight of African Americans. You would not understand the plight of us being in this country and always being centered when it comes to our culture, but not when it comes to us protesting and fighting for our rights. See, as an African, you should mind your African business. The message that was televised was not for you. It was for African Americans, not an African woman. Because as an African woman, you have no idea what it feels like to be black in America. Of course, you may use our African American English vernacular. And obviously you participate in our music, because you wouldn't make no commentary like this if you wouldn't. Hell, you may even eat our food. But when it comes to our plight, sweetheart, you would never understand. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime was a call to action to African Americans. It was talking about how we play the game in America and still lose. So we got to play our own damn game and make our own way. Without us, this country does not move. Without our culture, this country is, without the blood of our ancestors, this country would not be where it is. But you as an African would not know that. So how about you mind your African business and stay out of black folks' business? Sincerely, African American in Black History Month.
I mean, wow, here we go again. In Black American business again. I'm not understanding why, when you learn your 1, 2, 3s and you learn your ABCs, y'all over there need to learn how to mind business too. To sit and say out loud that you didn't, I didn't watch a Super Bowl performance to think. I did not want to think. We know you didn't think just now, because you should have thought about not turning the camera on to tell us that you didn't feel like thinking. You should have kept that in the group chat. It is so funny to me how so many of you who are outsiders feel like you should have say. You don't. We don't get. You should have no critique about a Black American message when you are not a Black American. You simply benefit from everything that we've put into the country. Keep your beans and toast mouth shut. I'm so tired of y'all.
You're a Black Brit. You don't live the Black American experience. You don't experience the Black American experience. The most you can either do is either talk to us Black Americans or read up on what's going on with Black Americans here in the States. So of course you didn't understand this performance because it was specifically for us. The analogy of it being a game, because he used the whole game over, babes, that was literally, the whole performance was about Black Americans playing the quote-unquote great American game, which is why Samuel L. Jackson was dressed up as Uncle Sam, not Uncle Tom, Uncle Sam. You're not a Black American, so you don't get it. You're never going to get it. You're not like us. Simply put.
This is why the world is the way it is. Give them bread and they will never revolt.
Nobody wants to think. Everybody wants to be entertained. Everyone wants to remain intentionally obtuse, intentionally dumb, intellectually lazy. And this is why when the world becomes worse and worse, people want to come and ask questions. How did we get here? Oh my God, what is this? This is why. This is how it starts. Because when people can't automatically understand a piece of art or something that's going on, and they have to actually read between the lines and use some critical thinking skills, all of a sudden it's too much and they don't want to do it. And they complain and they pout and they moan and they whine about why this is so deep and this is just doing too much. But then we wonder why the state of the world is the way it is, because nobody wants to exercise some media literacy skills. Nobody wants to think bigger picture. Nobody wants to think, what does this mean in the grand scheme of things? Nobody wants to understand that it's not art imitates life. It's not life imitates art. It's really art imitates life. That the things that we're seeing right now happening in the world is really a state of the hearts of people, the minds of people, and the tricks that the government is doing, because they know that we will allow it, because they know that we are constantly okay with having wool being pulled over our eyes, and as long as we're entertained and as long as we're kept busy and distracted by a bunch of frivolous things that don't actually matter, we won't look deeper, we won't probe, we won't study, we won't investigate, we won't seek out truth past more than what we're just given at face value. We won't actually do any of that, and so we won't actually demand change, and change will not happen. And the elites and the government, that they will continue to do exactly what they do and what they want to do. And so when this world turns into a total dystopia, we will have those same people have the audacity to come and ask where we all went wrong, when this is how it starts.
And this is why they tell us that you can be imitated but not duplicated, because y'all ain't like us. I bet you wanted to bop just like everybody else did, but you missed the message to black people. Black Americans having their story told in a performance on the biggest stage in sports. I bet you thought his jacket said Florida on it, but it didn't. It said Glory, Glori. Bet you thought that little A on his chain was for A minor, but it was for PG Lang. You didn't even know what the feathers on his hat meant, did you? No, you didn't. And this is why they say you have no place to add anything in the black diaspora at all, because you're not like us.
But you're not like us, sweetheart. You're not like us. You're not. You're not like us. There was more to his performance, the message of his performance. And if you ain't picking that up, you not like us. Okay, that's all.
To every single person putting a think piece regarding Kendrick Lamar's halftime show during Super Bowl on Sunday, criticizing it, it wasn't for you. It wasn't for you. Simply put, whether you were this, whether you are a black Brit, who refers to Uncle Sam as Uncle Tom, by the way, which is very, whether you're part of the, oh, you didn't really want to hear him, you just wanted the dance crowd, the ones who expected him to just entertain and perform. There are too many people coming on this app revealing that they in fact are not like us. It wasn't a performance, more so as it was a message, and it was a message to black Americans. I'm going to have some coffee, maybe something with caramel in it, because it's too early for this. Good morning.
Now, the recent comments made by this podcaster regarding Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance were not only tone deaf, but also painfully ignorant. Like her admission that she didn't understand the performance's deeper meaning and cultural context would have been a perfect opportunity for her to listen, learn, and grow. But instead, she chose to double down on her ignorance and dismiss the very real emotional resonance that Kendrick's performance had for many Black Americans. Her flippant remark about not wanting to read a book to understand the performance's allegorical significance is a reminder of the privilege and disconnect that can often exist between Black people from different cultural backgrounds. And it's a painful truth that many African Americans have to navigate, and one that this podcaster would do well to acknowledge and respect. The fact that she felt so comfortable sharing her uninformed opinions to start with on a performance that was so clearly rooted in the Black American experience is a slap in the face to every African American who saw themselves reflected in Kendrick's powerful message. Like, her comments were not just a personal opinion. They were a manifestation of the very same systemic ignorance and erasure that Black people have been fighting against for centuries. So to every African American who was hurt, frustrated, or enraged by this Black podcaster's comments, I see you, like I hear you, and I stand with you. Your experiences, your emotions, and your perspectives matter, and they deserve to be respected. Now, I feel her comments on Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance, which has sparked a wider conversation about the complexities of Black identity and culture nuance. Many African Americans have expressed frustration and hurt over the podcaster's dismissive remarks, and I understand why. As someone who has followed discussions around Blackness and identity, I've noticed that Black Americans often express feelings of frustration and hate when Africans or other members of the Black diaspora don't fully understand or acknowledge their unique struggles and experiences. And I get it. Like, the podcaster, as a Black British person, cannot fully comprehend the intricacies of the Black American experience. The historical, cultural, and systemic contexts are different. And it's unrealistic to expect her to fully grasp the nuances of Kendrick's performance. But that doesn't give her the audacity to talk about things that she doesn't understand in the first place. However, what is not acceptable is downplaying the impact and significance of that performance. Like Kendrick Lamar said, was not just entertainment. It was a powerful statement about Blackness resistance and resilience in America. And dismissing its importance or reducing it to mere mediocrity is not only tone deaf, but also disrespectful to the Black American experience. Now, I want us to take a closer look at what she said just right in the beginning of her video. Beginning of quote, "I love the fact that being a hater can end up being a success." End of quote. Really? That's what you took away from this situation? Like, for me, it seems like she's celebrating the idea that spewing hate or negativity can lead to online success. That's just me, and that's how I'm understanding this. But let's break it down. Firstly, let me ask this question. Like, is all rich good rich? Absolutely not. Because this kind of reach, where you are gaining views and engagement by downplaying someone else's struggles, is not only problematic, but also hurtful. So yes, you might get the success you're looking for in terms of numbers, but at what cost? What cost, baby girl? And the cost of disregarding and minimizing the experiences of Black Americans. I don't feel that's success. That's not success. I feel that's just being tone deaf. Now, I know some might say, what's the harm? Like, she's just sharing her opinion. Yes, she is sharing her opinion, but the issue lies in her lack of understanding and empathy. She's not from the United States. She doesn't share the same cultural context or historical experiences as Black Americans. And her comments were not only problematic, but also disrespectful. Let's underline that. And it's also important to recognize the boundaries of our own experiences and expertise. Like, instead of inserting herself into a conversation that wasn't hers to have, she should have taken the opportunity to listen, learn, and amplify Black American voices. The phrase "mind your business" comes to mind. Perhaps she should focus on issues relevant to the UK and her own community, rather than weighing in on matters she doesn't fully comprehend. Like, what are you doing in American business to start with? What happened to you minding your UK business? But if you're like some other people who've never listened to a lick of hip-hop but can certainly grasp a good metaphor, my other inquisitive friends whose brains are blissfully unburdened by rap beef, or one of the many folks tuning in who had, in theory, never seen or heard anything like this, I can understand having watched this show and felt confused, because context was crucial to appreciating the immense significance of Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl gig. I know it was mostly just people in solid colors doing pretty simple choreography, but so much of what was going on in plain sight was uniquely impactful if you had the proper context. Listen to Lamar's mission statement from early in the show, which borrowed from Jew Scott Heron and made it clear that this was not going to be your typical Super Bowl halftime show. The revolution better be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. Look at the cast. At the first Super Bowl in years to not include the words "end articism" painted in the end zone. The first halftime show attended by a sitting president who happens to be actively gutting diversity measures. Kendrick Lamar fielded a huge team of black dancers to evoke the life of black people in America to the soundtrack of a largely black art form on the most mainstream stage in the media universe. Like, it was just a lot, guys. I noticed a lot. But what do you guys have to say about this? Share your thoughts, your contributions in the comment section, and let's have a conversation. Thank you for always watching, and see you in our next video as we bring you another video. Don't forget to give our videos a thumbs up if you enjoy our content. Do subscribe and be part of the commenters squad.